Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nick, your host for the omniverse of Nick. And welcome to the one-parter What If Nick, me, was in the MCU basic little analysis video. Just like Lord of the Rings and Walking Dead, hope you guys are going to like this analysis of me in another franchise. And with that all out of the way, be sure as always to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick channel, and share and comment all your favorite stories, movies, ideas, and future requests for stuff, etc., etc. And with all that said, let's get into the basic little rundown, like all the other analysis videos I've done so far, and see what would have happened if me, Nick from the Omniverse of Nick, was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, as much as I would like, or I would have liked and still would like to go into these kinds of videos putting myself in the story like so many other people have done before, I really just feel it better to analyze myself for what I would want to have or be like in said thing, and instead of basically giving myself any and all power and trumping every single person in the story and giving you guys one heck of a bore of a story. Can't dial myself down because it's just not down to my level of imagination. Instead, for Marvel, I'm going to touch upon all the powers that I would want to have. So, first off, Cap's shield. Because you can't go wrong with Cap's shield, and the way that it has gone down through the entirety of the MCU, the way it's evolved, and how he maneuvers with it, and how he was given it, and everything, and just the whole concept of the shield is pretty much one of the core elemental weapons of the MCU. Only in the MCU being broken one time, and in the comics and all that other bullcrap gets broken every other freaking comic. But the MCU only ever got broken once. So the shield overall is one of the key things that I would want to have. Next, Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Not only because of their nigh impossibly, understandably broken durability of the weapons, since Mjolnir was formed from the core of a dying star, and Stormbreaker, since it literally soloed Thanos with all the stones, and because it's a freaking axe, and it just made Thor even more cooler. And lightning and everything like that just makes them exactly what I said they are, freaking awesome. And for Wolverine, I would like to have his claws, and the immortality that more or less goes along with his power and the claws and the mutatedness, but the claws overall, the core part of what I would want to have. Next, the Infinity Gauntlet, poorly with the stones, because you can't really have it without the stones, because it'd just be a freaking gigantic glove, but not even just because of the ability to snap away a certain amount of people or universe or anything like that, but just because of the power that the stones have, and you can't use them individually, so there you go, Infinity Gauntlet. Next, I would want to have Hulk's powers and his insane durability / immortality, and just his brute strength, because Hulk's strength is something that nobody could argue with. War Machine, I was iffy about including him, but one thing about him sticks out. He is what represents the human term of Iron Man in its entirety. He is far more human down to the levels of Iron Man and the suit that he got and everything, and guns, that he literally made the entire suit guns. So that's precisely why I decided to include him. Ant-Man? I would like to... The only thing with Ant-Man, really, would sure, the ability to control ants would be cool, but the core thing that I would want to take away from his character is just the fact to turn big and small. That's literally it. Bucky? There's not too much to say about Bucky, but his metal arm is something that's completely bulletproof, yet not Iron Man proof. So even though there would be that flaw, having Bucky's metal arm or a variation of it, the vibranium arm, whatever the case may be, would be cool. So that's included. Next would be Groot, but considering we barely got a true example of what Groot's tree and earth powers could have been, if I wanted to go ahead with Groot's powers as a option, I would want to have the full accessibility to trees, earth, and literally make it like god tier level strong. But that's exactly why I'm not including myself in the MCU or any story. I'd make myself way too overpowered. Anyway, I would also want Sandman's powers because it's freaking sand. You can control sand. What else is there to say? And last but not least, a last minute addition I added to this. Doc Ock's arms. Because Doc Ock is literally one of my favorite MCU characters, mainly because of the arms. Because it's such a cool design for a character, and weapons and everything, it just makes him one of the best characters. So that's it. Now, as a last minute touch on, if I had to include myself in the story, just for you guys, it would be with the Avengers or just in the MCU, but it would be by my rules. It would basically be my universe. It wouldn't be down and limited. What do I mean by that? The TVA. That would be down to limiting myself with the TVA and everything like that. I would basically just want my universe to do my own thing. So you could think of me as like another TVA, especially with my stories. But that's it.
In closing, me and the MCU is just another basic analysis, like The Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings. Just a basic analysis of what it would be like, or how I would want to be in the MCU. Like all my other analysis videos, whenever I put myself into a universe, I don't want to make it a story, because there's so much that I would want changed that it would almost be like rewriting that certain franchise. And I do that with every one of my ideas. So it would honestly just get very, 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 very confusing. If some part of me wishes to do that when I finally end this channel, years and years in the future, you'll have to talk to my future self, some way, shape, or form. Jokes aside, hope that you guys enjoyed the analysis nonetheless. Just more or less skits or presentations of what it would be like if I were in a certain franchise. Anyway, with this idea done, the next one is my first actual Saw What If, not the crossover one with Jigsaw and The Walking Dead. That was a good start. But the next story is my first actual Saw-based story, which is What If Adam, the first character besides Dr. Gordon in the Saw series, lived and actually got to do something with his character. And I got a unique way of doing it after I got rid of What If Dr. Gordon died instead of Adam. You'll see how it works out soon here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the Saw one, because it's going to be quite interesting, and a good first tackle into the Saw franchise. I'll see you then.